Now on YouTube, it's time for some alternative commentary action with the Commentary Hub.
There's headed by Marina, and it's 2-1 to Arsenal.
Look at that point! Goal for Manchester City!
Takes this corner, whips it in, it's headed and it's a goal, and it's that man, Gabriel.
Liverpool have equalised. Lovely improvisational touch from Curtis Jones.
Oh, what a goal! Wow, take it out!
Good evening, everyone, and welcome along to Selhurst Park for this coverage of Crystal Palace against Manchester City from game week 2 of the Premier League. This is the first game of the weekend. Kickoff is going to be in around about 5 minutes' time, and I'll run you through the two lineups. And we shall start with your home side, which is Crystal Palace. In goal was Henderson, then the back three of Camvo, Richards and Tomiyasu. Kalani, Kamada, Wharton and Mitchell are the men in midfield with Nketiah, Pino and Strand Larsen. And as for Enzo Maresca's side, they've got Donnarumma in goal, Kusanov, Ruben Diaz, Mark Gahey, Gvardiol, Elliot Anderson, Nico O'Reilly, Phil Foden, Rayan Cherki, Antoine Semenyo and Erling Haaland, who's got a formidable record against Crystal Palace. Palace have not won in 8 Premier League games either side of the summer, whereas Manchester City are unbeaten in 7 away games in London, so everything's kind of in Manchester City's favour, including the last few games as well, where these two sides have met. There's been 3 games where these two sides have met last year and the year previous, where Manchester City have won by 3 goals, 2 3-0 wins in there and a 5-2 win in there as well. Crystal Palace last win was that FA Cup final, where they won by a goal to 0 with Eberechi Eze on the score sheet, the man who's now at Arsenal. And got the cheerleaders there. You've got the two sides just coming out now as well onto the pitch. Of course, 2 new managers in the dugout as well, with Enzo Maresca at Manchester City and Pierre Sarg, I guess it is, who's in charge at Crystal Palace. I'm not sure on pronunciation, so you can correct me on pronunciation of his name if need be. And just going through the last couple of minutes here now with the two teams shaking hands. We'll go through your match officials as well. And the match officials for this game are on screen here. We've got Andy Madley in charge. Assistant referee is Gary Beswick, and then Adrian Holmes is also working alongside him as well, with Sam Addison on 4th official duty, Stuart Atwell on VAR, and Edward Smart on assistant VAR, however you want to refer to him as. And hopefully we'll get a good game here on the opening game of this weekend's Premier League fixtures here on the TCHub. Of course, drop us a like and a subscription as well. If you do that, be much appreciated. And we'll be more than grateful. Of course, we do have other social media as well. You can go to our X account, which is at Commentary Live 1, and we're also on TikTok and Instagram as well, which I believe is at let's have a look what it was now. I think it's TCHub 92. I can confirm with that in a minute once I get my notes of what that is. Of course, we had a few technical issues last week as well, so hopefully we're all good on that front. But if anyone is having issues, then do let me know, because I may have to adjust a couple of things on this side. But yeah, it's the Commentary Hub 92 on Instagram and also on your TikTok if you want to follow us on those. The two majors are just shaking hands there now, and Of course, Mark Gahey featuring against his former side. Spent, I think it's about 4 years at Crystal Palace in the end. Adam Wharton, Jeremy Pino, Tomiyasu, the new signing there as well for Crystal Palace. They were just shaking hands and going through their last minute bits of preparation. Ryan Jackie, 10 goals and 16 assists in all competitions last season. He also got the 2 assists last weekend as well in Manchester City's comeback victory over, I think it was Bournemouth, I believe. But they were 1-0 down and won it late in injury time. Ryan Cherky getting the 2 assists there. And then Maresca has drawn all 3 previous meetings versus Crystal Palace in his time at Chelsea. I can't really know. It might be a weather thing. Obviously, we've got a bit stormy weather and whatever. It's probably, maybe that doesn't really help. Hopefully we can resolve it though. As we are getting underway, it's Manchester City that's going to be defending the kick-off. Crystal Palace is going to get us underway any second now. Just going to see who it is. It's all the way back to a defender anyway, early on here, which I think was Richards. Ball to go out of play, is it here? No, it's... In fact, there was a head there from Tomiyasu, just knocked it on for an early Manchester City throw. Which is going to be taken by... That was Kusanov, who's over it. Just thrown it to Nico Lewis. Sorry, not Nico Lewis, really. Nico O'Reilly, I should say, for himself, and it's gone out of play for a Palace throw. And, it's with Tomiyasu now. He's going to go long, but it's going to go and be knocked out by the number 3 there for Manchester City, the captain Ruben Diaz. Palace there in possession with Chris Richards now, and across to J.D. Kemba. And on to the right hand side where Annan Kalali is in possession. And Crystal Palace just sort of knocking it around here with Tomiyasu. That's a good free ball there, looking for the number 9, Eddie Nketiah, and he's in for a shot at goal there, and it's parried wide for a corner by Donnarumma. But a bright start there from the Eagles. Made a flying start to this game. And that was a good through ball there. I think it may have been Adam Wharton that put the free ball through to Eddie Nketiah, and he got the beating of Ruben Diaz, and it was just parried wide by Donnarumma at his near post. The Crystal Palace corner, which Pino's just whipped in and come the way, but only as far as Pino put it back now. That was with the number 18, which is Kamada. Now Pino once more. And it's with Mitchell now. Here's number 18, Kamada again. Going to get the shot away. He is. It's taking the deflection off the head of... I think that may well have been... Let's see who it was who he came off the head of. But away for a corner anyhow. It was actually off the head of the number 45, Kusanov. Another corner here for Crystal Palace. In fact, I know what I may have done here. If you give me a second. Let's see whether that's going to make any difference. It probably won't, but hopefully you can hear me alright. It is kind of very much a weather issue here in the UK right now, with all the different storms and whatever that we've got going on. Manchester City have possession with the new number 5, Elliot Anderson. Who's excellent for Nottingham Forest and also for England as well at this summer's World Cup. A big part in England's route to finishing 3rd in that tournament. Here is Nico O'Reilly, also heavily involved in that squad by Thomas Tuchel. And now it's Kusanov. And now that's Ruben Diaz. Now that's on to... And that was Mark Gahey. He's put it back. And now it's a good tackle there. And Crystal Palace can break with Warburton. Goes out wide to... I think that maybe will be Kalili. It is. I think, yeah, he's in possession. And it's going to be a Crystal Palace throw now. And it's going to be a long one. And look, they're going to hurl this one into the box. It might be Chris Richards. I think he wants to hurl it in. It is. And he throws that into the area. And there's going to be a chance here for a knockdown. But shot at goal ends up comfortably wide from Tyreek Mitchell, the Crystal Palace left wing back. Shows Eddie Nketiah a chance as well, which was put behind by the gloves of Donnarumma just about 3 minutes or so ago. And it's going to be taken by Mark Gahey, this goal kick. In fact, the Crystal Palace, sorry, the former Crystal Palace man, I should say, took the goal kick there ahead of Donnarumma. And it is with Donnarumma now, all in orange, and quite like that kit there that Donnarumma's wearing. It's quite luminous, definitely stand out. Here is that's Nico O'Reilly for Manchester City. That wide to Semenyo now in possession. Gets a delivery in, and now Manchester City have their first corner of the game. Early on here. Just want to find something out in a minute. Okay. This corner is going to be quick turn in a minute, but yeah, most goals conceded since the start of last season. Crystal Palace a joint first in that element with 21 conceded, but that was a short corner there, and it's going to be Elliot Anderson to get the shot away, and it's a good save there from Henderson, but only parried as far as it's melee there. Haaland, no, cleared off the line pretty much by the Crystal Palace man, and now Palace are breaking, but that definitely was almost a breakthrough there for Manchester City. Okay, that's fine. As long as you can hear what I'm saying. It might be, as I say, the weather. It's, yeah, as I say, we've got quite a heavy storm here, which we've had for the last 24 hours, maybe just over. And it's in possession. Elliot Anderson anyway at the moment for Manchester City, and now Kusanov. And Ruben Diaz on to the left back. To Semenyo, I should say, from Mark Gahey. It's with Semenyo again. There's a chance here for Man City. He's into the area. He's got Haaland in support. There's a chance here. And Dean Henderson does very, very well there. Just falls on the ball as well to deny Phil Foden. But Manchester City picking up a bit of speed here after that bright start from Crystal Palace. And it's Palace on the counter again now. Very end-to-end game here in the early stages, and it's Ruben Diaz there, but here is Wharton and Palace with Kamada onto Mitchell, and on the left-hand side. That's Tomiyasu, whips it in, and it's cleared out by Mark Gahey to his opposite number 6 of JD Camvo. And Man City have a free kick here for an offside. So just showing this chance here for Manchester City from a second ago, which was Elliot Anderson's effort, which was saved by Henderson and then scrambled away. It was another 22, which is Jorgen Strand Larsen, the forward, doing his defensive duties there. There was actually one Norwegian denying the other Norwegian, I believe, with Haaland. Yeah, it was Haaland's shot originally, and then his Norwegian countryman was the one who denied him from giving City the lead. And here is Tomiyasu now on to Nketiah there from, what's it, 22, I think it was, Strand Larsen. Here's Pino. There could be a shot there, and it's blocked by Mark Gahey, but I think the flag is up for an offside again, which it is. As we're just coming up to the 10th minute of the game here, and we're still scoreless. Palace 0, Man City 0 is how we are at the moment in the opening game of this Premier League weekend. We will have another game coming up on the channel on Monday for you as well, which is coming from Villa Park Monday evening, and Russ is going to be covering that one, and that is the Premier League champions Arsenal's trip to Villa Park to face Aston Villa. That's the next game we've got coming up for you after this one, or confirmed anyway. Here's number 10, Ryan Shirky now, and here is Phil Foden. Now Kuznov, and it's comfortably into the glove of Dean Henderson. Of course, Dean Henderson was a big part of the Crystal Palace side that went through and won the FA Cup, beating Manchester City. There was also that incident in the final as well, where he potentially could have been sent off, but that wasn't given as a red card in the end, and there's quite a lot of drama in that final. I think Manchester City were awarded the penalty, which was overturned in that game as well, if I can remember correctly. Here's Anderson out to the number 3, Ruben Diaz, the skipper. Of course, we've had the European draws as well. Both of these sides are in European action this season. And one of the games of note for Manchester City is that Kevin De Bruyne is going to be returning to the Etihad in one of their games for Napoli. Here is Phil Foden at the moment in possession, and then on to Kusanov. And now that's the skipper Diaz again, on to Nico O'Reilly. Latest score from the Championship, Phil Newman has scored for Birmingham. They're 1-0 up at the racecourse ground against Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney to Wrexham. Thank you for that. So Birmingham lead out in Wales. And here is Kamada now. In fact, there's good defending. It's going to go behind for a Manchester City throw, which I think Nico O'Reilly wants to take. In fact, it's going to be Kusanov, who then throws it to Elliot Anderson. Of course, if you are watching and you are synced in with us, then do let us know. Also, feel free to drop a comment in the comment section and let us know where you're tuned in from and who you're supporting on this game. Or if you're watching as a neutral as well, but let us know. Here is a ball through to Nketiah, but put back to Donnarumma. A chance here for Elliot Anderson to move the ball through for Manchester City out to Semenyo. It's Ryan Cherki now. And that was with number 3, Ruben Diaz. If these technical issues aren't quite bad, I'll listen back at half time when we have a break, and then if it's bad, then I'll see if there's anything I can do at half time to give you a better quality of second half. Maybe I have to broadcast from a different way of doing it, but I'll listen back at half time and see how the first half has gone from my point of view when I listen back to it. Unless anyone can definitely confirm that they are unbearable, but Luke seems to think they're alright. Luke's producing for me this evening. Here is Phil Foden now. On to Anderson. Here's Kusanov now for City into the box. Let's cut it back. And hooked clear there by, I think that was Jade Camvo. It's a good battle here with Strand Larsen. He's going to get the better of Diaz, does he? No, he's not. He's pulled his man back. He didn't like the fact that Ruben Diaz wanted to get the ball moving quickly as well, was just holding on to the Manchester City man's shirt. Here's Ruben Diaz for City. 15 played and we're still scoreless. And the ball's with Ruben Diaz again on to Donnarumma. This game being played at Selhurst Park. It's actually the 102nd anniversary of Selhurst Park as a stadium. It's coming Sunday as well. The stadium was open on the 30th of August 1924, and the opening game was against Sheffield Wednesday, if anyone was interested in that. The stadium has hosted football for over 100 years now. But back to the here and now. Here is Gehi. It's Semenyo and Haaland. And that's in. That's Erling Haaland. He loves a goal against Crystal Palace, and he's got another one. The man who shaved his head earlier in the summer has just nodded that past Dean Henderson. And Erling Haaland, once again, as per the usual, as per the norm, has given Manchester City the lead at Selhurst Park here. And it's a great header as well, great delivery into the box. And Erling Haaland heads that past Dean Henderson for a City lead. Semenyo with the delivery in. And it's a great header from Erling Haaland. Just heads that past Dean Henderson and over the top of the goalkeeper. And that's a lovely headed goal from Manchester City's talisman there. Great header and a great finish. And City are off and running at Selhurst Park after 17 minutes with Erling Haaland on the score sheet. Different haircut, same outcome. City in front. And the ball is with Elliot Anderson now out to Kusanov. In fact, it was it might have been Gvardiol, but Palace have won it back here. Looking for Strand Larsen. He's going to just go out playing back for a City throw. Erling Haaland's got such a formidable record at Selhurst Park. He's got 6 goals, which is the joint most in the Premier League away from home for him, alongside the London Stadium. So he's with 6 at Selhurst Park and 6 at the London Stadium for the Norwegian striker. As I say, he loves a goal against Crystal Palace, and He scored a hat-trick against Palace just the other season as well. I think that was in the 5-2, which I may have mentioned previously. And Maresca just getting some instructions across there to his players. Those balls with Palace and Henderson. And of course, both of these sides were in action last week. They both had contradictory results. Manchester City, as I mentioned earlier, won 2-1 in their opening fixture, whereas Palace lost 2-0 in their opening game away at Everton. And it's the Hill Dickinson Stadium, isn't it, now, Everton, these days, where Palace played and lost their opening game. It's a foul there by Ryan Shirky. Coming up to 20 played, and it's still Manchester City in front by that Erling Haaland goal just a few moments ago. And they're in possession once more. Here's Elliot Anderson now. Here's Antoine Semenyo. Gets a shot away. It's going to take a deflection and be put behind for... In fact, Foden wants to keep it in. He's going to just knock it back to Kusanov. And here's Ruben Diaz. Now Elliot Anderson now. Elliot Anderson there, sorry, and now Kusanov again. And Anderson. Here is Phil Foden. Obviously didn't go to the World Cup under Thomas Tuchel. So a big season for him coming up. Here's Kusanov, and now Elliot Anderson, the new boy. Now Mark Gahey, and now Semenyo. And City just comfortably knocking it around in the centre of the park. A keep ball. With Semenyo now, and he's going to take on the number 25, Kalili. He's forced back to Mark Gahey. And now that's Ryan Shirky. Here's Elliot Anderson going to get a shot away. He's going to feed it out to Phil Foden via Haaland, and then that was a gilt-edged opportunity there for the Manchester City man, which he's skied well and truly into the stand behind the goal there. Acres of space, Phil Foden as well, unmarked. He's got to hit the target at the very least there, the Manchester City man, but it troubled somebody more in the crowd than it did Dean Henderson's goal. And here is Henderson now to Mitchell. City just trying to press here on Palace, and they're doing it very, very well as well. Here's Wharton given away. Here's Haaland again. Now Foden. Now Nico O'Reilly does well there. He gets a shot away, but that was comfortably wide of the Palace keeper's goal. City looking to add to this Erling Haaland lead that they've been given in the 17th minute, but they won't do it with a shot like that. That was definitely not troubling King Henderson. And Palace have possession. Here's Pino. In fact, it's not onto Pino now. It was actually Strand Larsen who looks like he's pulled up here as well. He's got a bit of a injury. I'm not too sure whether this is going to be anything where he may have to come off, but he did pull up there. Pulled up lame in horse racing terms, but hopefully he'll be alright. Looks like he's getting back to his feet and jogging around a bit more freely now. I think it's just an impact injury rather than anything more serious and more severe. Here's Haaland for City, and Come behind for a throw there too. Come off with the Manchester City man last for a Palace ball. No, in fact it is. Yeah, it is a Palace ball. Yeah, I was right. It's with Cambo and now Richards, and now it's on to Kamada. It's with Mitchell now, the left wing back. And Eddie Nketiah does well there. Still got possession as well. Mitchell to, that's a number 17, Tomiyasu. And Richards, and now Haaland's got it for Man City here. It's Semenyo. There's a good tackle there from Palace's number 10, Jeremy Pino. He's gone behind for a City throw. And good play there. In fact, it's a free kick, I should say, rather than a throw-in. So just watch on here. It's whipped in and it's palmed out by Dean Henderson. He's going to go for a throw here or a corner. It's a corner to Man City, which Phil Foden wants to take. As we are over halfway through the first period of the first half. And luckily we're not at the World Cup, and we're not having the weather or drinks breaks, so we can carry on watching the action and commentating on the game in front of us, rather than having to pause, which is good. Here is Elliot Anderson now. Here is 47 Kusanov. In fact, it was Phil Foden, I should say, 47 for Man City. He knocks it back past Kusanov to Donnarumma. Here's Kusanov now. Here's Elliot Anderson. Now that's Kusanov. Back to Ruben Diaz, and then on to the left-hand side where that is Mark Gahey just filling in there for a minute. One of many players that have played for both of these sides. And some other names which you may be familiar with. Sun Ji-hai, you may remember him. There was also Carlo Nash, the goalkeeper, was also one that featured for both. Danny Granville as well. Kit Simons, also Kit Simons, I should say, was another one. And many others as well. A few names there for you. But Mark Gahey played the most games for Palace out of the lot, and now he's obviously on the books at City here and leading up his former employee. Here's Pino now. In fact, it wasn't, it was Larson, sorry. Tried to put the ball through, and here's Foden. And now Nico O'Reilly on the counter-attack here. He's going to have a free run here at goal against Tomiyasu. Here's Cherki, Ryan Cherki, and it's headed, and it's good defender there from Tyreek Mitchell, I think that was, to that wasn't, it was actually Jade Cambo to get it off the line. The centre back. Palace in possession out on the right hand side. Here's Cambo again, and now Pino shot to the floor, and the referee has pulled up for a free kick here. It might have been Kamada, in fact, that was sharp. Let's have a look here. We're just showing this chance to Nico O'Reilly again. He knocks it back to Ryan Cherki, and then he just knocks it to Phil Foden. That's another chance for Phil Foden there. He just misses his head up, kind of gets his angles all wrong and connection all wrong. But Phil Foden has already had two big chances in this game, and here is Jeremy Pino over this free kick for Palace. City still leading by a goal to nil. The goal just over 10 minutes ago. And Phil Foden's had 2 chances to add to that, but hasn't been able to be successful. Here is number 18 for Palace, which is Kamada, onto Tomiyasu there. And feed out by City, onto Cambo. Now Mitchell. Mitchell again. Here's Chris Richards, the US international. We've sent about partner Cambo onto the right hand side where you find Kaleli, and now Strand Larsen up against Diaz. Anderson goes in and supports him and nicks the ball off the big Norwegian striker, who ends up giving away a throw. That was a good play there from Elliot Anderson, and also a bit of support there from one of his teammates as well. But Anderson did very well on the original phase of play up against Jürgen Strand Larsen. City have a throw here in their own half. Yeah, not Gahey now. Now that's clear, but only as far as, in fact, it was actually with Man City. I was going to say full to the Palace man, but it didn't. It's the Semenyo. Swap sides for a minute, and he's now on the right hand side, but Henderson there gets the ball from Mitchell, and then he gets it back again. Does the Palace left fullback, and he plays it into, that's Kamada, and then Richards now gets it from Henderson, and it's a bit of a sloppy ball there from Henderson. That was a bit of a fortunate one. It was a very, very light ball there, and any Manchester City player could easily got on the end of that. Just nicked it off of him or nicked it in before a Palace player, but they were able to get it clear in the end, fortunately. Here's Ruben Diaz now. And Man City in possession with Mark Gahey. Manchester City, their last touch in the opposition box was on the 28th minute. Palace haven't had a touch in the City box since the 3rd minute, and I think that was when Eddie and Nketiah's chance was parried wide by Donnarumma, but they've not had anything in the City box since then. So a good 28 minutes since Palace's last touches in the opposition area. I wonder if that would change here as they're in possession now, but no, it won't because it's given away. And there's a free kick there for a foul by Eddie Nketiah on Elliot Anderson. It's definite foul as well. No more need for the referees to get involved and give any cards out. Just a free kick is more than fine. Here's Ruben Diaz. Now Anderson. Now that's with Gvardiol. And Foden's giving it away. And Palace can counter the attack here, but no, they can't because Elliot Anderson nicks in. Palace have it with Adam Wharton now, and he goes down under the challenge of Ryan Cherki, and that's the first yellow card of the game there for Manchester City's number 10. It's the first player into the book, and for that foul on Adam Wharton where he just pulls him back and he can't have any complaints. It's a definite yellow card where Adam Wharton's getting away from his man, and Ryan Cherki knows exactly what he's doing and rightfully booked. There's a chance here for Palace to get his header on. It's that was not far away at all from, I think it was Strand Larsen. Have a look here. Yeah, it was. That was inches away from being 1-1 there. Come from the right hand side where I think it may well have been the number 10, Pino, that got the delivery in, and Strand Larsen there. That was not far away from levelling the scores up for Crystal Palace. City have it, and in fact it's given away now, and Here comes Kamada, the number 18, out to Pino. Gets the delivery in over the head of everyone, and it's going to go out of play, I think, for... No, it's not. Tyreek Mitchell keeps it in. It does well as well. And it's now with Tomiyasu. It's the main that gets it clear. Now Richards. And Pino trying to get it into the area, but cleared out by Mark Gahey. Back to the 20, the 22 Kalali, I should say. And there's a chance here for Palace, and it's headed just wide again, this time from Tyreek Mitchell. And Palace, 2 big chances there in the space of around about a minute. That ball was in from Adam Wharton that time. And a great delivery from the Crystal Palace midfielder to the head of Tyreek Mitchell, unmarked. He just nods that one past the post of Donnarumma. So yeah, another big chance there for Crystal Palace to level up. Gone a begging. Still Palace 0, Manchester City 1 with Erling Haaland's goal. The difference on 17 minutes as we enter the 35th minute almost of this game now. Palace in possession. That's a good defending there from Ruben Diaz. Here's Mark Gahey. Now that's with Ryan Shirky, and then that's Kusanov. And now Shirky. Man, it's just been booked a minute or so ago. Of course, please like and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and share it out amongst friends and family and colleagues and everyone like that, and help us to grow the channel. And then we're able to bring you more games and more content across different divisions. We're hopefully going to be doing this season already. We've got some Argentinian games and South American games from Brazil coming up. We might have some Italian games as well, and lots of games coming up from the EFL, the Premier League, the domestic cups in England, the international competitions as well, international friendlies, that type of stuff. We'll also have the Champions League, the UEFA Cup, or the Europa League, I should say it's called these days, and Conference League games if we can as well. Trying to get as much different content out as we can for you, different games and different competitions. Free kick there to City. And it's with Kusanov and now Foden. Back to Kusanov. Once more, it's going to be forced back to Ruben Diaz. Back to Antoine Semenyo against the number 25 there, Anan Kalali. Good defending from the Palace man. Big goes behind for a corner. Of course, both of these sides are in action in the Carabao Cup as well, where Manchester City are going to be hosting Norwich, and Palace are hosting Middlesbrough, I believe, in the next round. There's a man down here. The Palace, was that an elbow? I wanted to see what happened there. Something happened off the ball. The Palace man still gingerly getting to his feet, but nothing was given by the referee. And we're still playing on. But it did look like maybe a flailing arm there from a Manchester City man as Eddie Nketiah breaks away for Crystal Palace now, when that player is back to his feet. It looked like a flailing arm for a second off the ball there. There's a free kick here for a foul on Eddie Nketiah by Nico O'Reilly. I'll let you know if you can come to this flailing arm, but I don't think the referee or VAR or anyone's going to look at that. Let's have a look here. It was Pino. It was a flailing arm from Gavardio. I don't look like I made a bit of a meal of it in the end, in fairness. And then Semenyo got an effort away, which kind of might have been cannoned off the post. But yeah, I think that's pretty much nothing. There's a chance here for Palace, and that was from Richard there from Pino's free kick, but into the glove of Donnarumma. I don't think there's anything in that arm. There's nothing really malicious in it at all. That one was going to come off the arm of Richards. That's not going to go for Palace. Here is Nico O'Reilly onto Phil Foden. They've only had 2 big chances in this game. I wonder if it'd be third time lucky for him. Here's Nico O'Reilly again, and now Kusanov. Now Elliot Anderson. And it's still remaining 1-0 to Manchester City, with Erling Haaland on the score sheet. Once again at Sellers Park. And Kusanov to O'Reilly there, and that's Foden up against Tomiyasu, and good bit of play there from Tomiyasu. When he was at Arsenal, he was on the right hand side more, and it looks like he's playing a left-sided centre-back here at Crystal Palace, which is a bit of unknown territory for him, or unfamiliar territory for him than what he was playing in his Arsenal days anyway. He played more right wing-back, or on the odd occasion he played right centre-back, but that was quite rarely, to be honest. That was good ball there to Phil Foden. See how it with Anderson, and now Kusanov. Now Diaz. Here is Mark Gahey, and then Antoine Semenyo. Here's Gahey again. Now that's with Semenyo. What can he do here for the Citizens? Here's Cherki, and he does well there, but so does the Palace defender. And now with Jürgen Strand-Larsen. Now Adam Wharton, good through ball looking for Eddie Nketiah. What can he do? He does well to beat his man. Knocks it back to, I think it was the right back there of Kaleli. Excuse me. Here's a chance for Pino, and he's going to get a chance to get on the end of it again, but that's comfortable for Donnarumma. There's an injury here for Adam Wharton, who's just gone down off the ball for Palace. Holding his ankle, or shin, is it? Of course, you're listening to the Commentary Hub's alternative coverage of Crystal Palace against Manchester City from game week 2 of the Premier League. And we'll run you through the next lot of Premier League action that we've got coming up on the channel again at half time. There's been loads of Premier League action all the way across the weekend between now and Monday evening. As Thomas Tuchel, the manager, is in attendance this evening, watching over Mark Gahey, Elliot Anderson, Phil Foden, and Adam Wharton, Tyreek Mitchell, Eddie Nketiah potentially as well for his national side. Dean Henderson as well, the Palace goalkeeper, another one. The City are in possession with Cherki. Here is Mark Gahey now. Back to Ryan Cherki once more. And there's Gahey again. Now got now Diaz. On to Foden. Now Kusanov. Here is Ruben Diaz. Now Gahey to, that was Cavadio. The man whose winning goal was the difference last weekend. It was his injury time goal that gave City the victory on opening day, or opening weekend. Here's Phil Foden now. As well, gets a delivery into the area, looking for Haaland. And that is hooked clear by Mitchell into the air. And again, he gets his head on it as well. And Give it a shot by Gahey. No, it's Kusanov. No, Diaz, and now Gavadio, and then on to Semenyo. Here is Kusanov once more. Now we're with Phil Foden. And Phil Foden closed down well there, and it's with Eddie Nketiah now for Palace, and then it's Kamada's given away there, was he, to Shirky? It was a bit dangerous anyway, running the ball across his own area like he did there. But fortunate to get away with one. As the Palace have a free kick here now. Or was it a throw with O'Reilly against Mitchell? Just showing that Kamada moment again. He had a bit of a moment of madness there. He was running across his own area, and anyone could have just nicked the ball off him and had a shot and potentially scored. It's one of those moments where you're either brave or you're stupid. And he looked like he got away with it, so you can say he was brave on that occasion. As we're going to be coming up to the close of the first half in a minute, and we'll find out what additional time we're having. Probably not too much. I don't think there'll be too many off the ball challenges or anything like that. Here's Nketiah to Pino. Gets a shot away, and it's comfortably over Donnarumma's goal. In fact, it may have been 25, which was 26. Sorry, I should say. No, it was Kalani, the 25. I should say that one. We're into 1 minute of additional time here at the end of the first half, and it's still the Erling Haaland goal on 17 minutes, which is the difference for Enzo Maresca's side. Some of these other players that have played for both. Paul Dickov as well, if anyone remembers him. Gareth Taylor as well, and another one, which I know a lot of you will remember, is Emmanuel Adebayor, who's also at both of these sides. I'm sure Palace could do with the goal scoring of him, and actually Paul Dickov in this game. But they were both more known for their time at Man City. Here's Semenyo now. Now, Shirky to Semenyo again. Shirky gets the shot away, and it's into the gloves of Dean Henderson, and I think that's that on the first half as well. Let's just have a look here. It's comfortably into the gloves of Dean Henderson from Ryan Shirky, and yeah, that was the last action of the first half. Erling Haaland's 17th minute goal is the difference. Crystal Palace started brightly, could have in fact gone ahead themselves through Eddie Nketiah, as his low effort was parried wide by goalkeeper Gianluigi Donnarumma. Tyreek Mitchell also had a moment as well. City have had a few moments of their own, other than Erling Haaland's goal. Phil Foden's had two gilt-edge opportunities. There's been a few off the line as well, which City haven't been able to capitalise on. But at half-time from Selhurst Park, as things stand, it's Crystal Palace 0, Manchester City 0. And we'll take a short break before the start of the second half. We'll come back and we'll let you know in plenty of time if there is any more score or any more goals going on in the Championship as well between Wrexham and Birmingham. And I'll have a look and see what that is currently standing as, and we'll also let you know what's coming up next on the channel and what other games are coming up in the Premier League this weekend. So we'll do that before we have a break, in fact. And it is currently in the Championship. Still 1-0 to Birmingham as we're entering 3 minutes of additional time there. Still Newman's goal is different, so they're still leading 1-0 as well at Wrexham. And in the Premier League across this weekend, the next lot of fixtures that we've got, if you can pull it up on screen there for me, the next games coming up across this weekend, tomorrow and Sunday and Monday. If you got that on screen there, Luke, the next few games that are up this weekend in terms of the rest of the Premier League, and who's facing who? That's fine, no problem. So tomorrow lunchtime it is Liverpool against Nottingham Forest, which Luke's going to cover on his own channel, Turton Talks. If you want to check that one out. No, you're fine, mate. No, you're good. The 3 p.m. games, we've got Bournemouth, Everton, and Coventry Holland, 2 3 p.m. games. At 5:30, we have Tottenham against Newcastle United. 2 sides that, of course, put on very different games last weekend. We covered Newcastle against Liverpool. They were very unlucky not to win that game, and Spurs, to be fair, were beaten comprehensively against Brentford. Chelsea against Brighton should be a good game at 2 o'clock on Sunday. Leeds and Brentford is also 2 o'clock Sunday, as is Sunderland at Fulham. And then Manchester United are hosting New Boys Ipswich Town Sunday at 4:30. And the next game we're going to cover for you is with Russ. And that is Aston Villa against Arsenal, Monday evening, 8 o'clock kickoff. We'll be live around about 5 to 8, maybe 10 to 8 with the coverage on that game. But that's the next game we've got covering. So the next game we're going to be covering for you confirmed. There may be one Monday afternoon from the National League or one of the lower leagues, which will let you know if like from National League North or South or anything like that, which I think Nick wants to cover. But we'll let you know on our social media accounts if that is going to be done. But we'll take a short break for the time being. It's Crystal Palace 0, Manchester City 1, and Erling Haaland, as per usual, is the goal scorer. We'll be back ever so shortly with second half coverage at Selhurst Park. See you in a bit. Welcome back to this Premier League. Sorry about that, we just had a technical glitch there. Welcome back to the Premier League game here between Crystal Palace and Manchester City. They're just showing Birmingham's goal against Wrexham. It was a headed goal from a corner, and that's 1-0 to Birmingham at half-time in the Championship. I just saw that on the screen now, and it's a headed goal that's the difference here as well, with Erling Haaland on target for Manchester City. And I'll run you through the two lineups and the substitutes. I didn't get around to doing the substitutes before for both sides before we get underway in the second half. Is that any different, Luke? Is that sounding better or worse or the same? Because I could potentially switch to another device if need be. If it's sounding worse or... Oh, better. Brilliant. Perfect. It might have been that because I had the other program open then. Perfect. Good stuff. So I will run you through the two lineups. And the lineups are as things stand at the moment before potential changes of Henderson, Cambo, Richards, Tomiyasu, Kalali, Kamada, Wharton, Mitchell, Nketiah, Pino and Strand Larsen, which is how Crystal Palace started. Manchester City started with Donnarumma, Kusanov, Diaz, Gvardiol, O'Reilly, Gahey, Addison, Foden, Cherki, Semenyo and Erling Haaland, whose goal is the difference. And the two sides are just coming back out now onto the field of play, ready for the second half. Have a program off down in the background just to make sure everything's going to be running smoothly throughout the second half. If you do want to share the stream out and like and subscribe, then do let us know where you tuned in from and stuff as well, and we'll give you a shout out on the program. We're more than happy to interact with anyone that is there and tuned in. These two managers are just coming out as well now alongside their respective teams. I don't see any changes at the moment, but I will have to confirm if I see any. Doesn't look like they're making subs here. Wharton still out there. Tyreek Mitchell still out there as well. As Pierre Gauge is just sitting down in this technical area. I don't think we've got any subs at either side. I think we're the same 11 for both, which makes my job nice and simple, straightforward. And we are off and running for the second half, and it's with Donnarumma, the Manchester City keeper now. And it's with Erling Haaland who gets a head on it, and now given away to Crystal Palace. And it's Ryan Cherki. Here's O'Reilly. I'll run you through the two subs in a minute as well for both of these sides. Here's Mark Gahey, a familiar face at Selhurst Park. And when the ball goes out of play, I'll run you through both subs, or both sets of subs I should say, as that is with Mitchell now. And he plays the ball looking for Larsen, but good play from Elliot Anderson there to Ruben Diaz. Yeah, I don't think there was any changes at half time. We were the same 22 that started. Here's Elliot Anderson out too. That's Foden now. Here is Diaz, and now Mark Gahey. Looks like he's filling in more at centre back now rather than in the defensive mid role where he was for a lot of the first half. Maybe because their City are leading the game now, maybe to protect the lead a bit. He's helping out in the back three, or in a back three. Here's the number 6, Jade Cambo now, and now Dean Henderson. On to Tomiyasu there. And City pressing well, and it's going to be a chance here for Ryan Cherki to find Semenyo. Is he going to get a shot away? He is at the second time of asking, and comes from Canvo and away for a Manchester City Manchester City corner, I should say, rather than a goal kick. Good play there from Semenyo and takes a nick off of Canvo and away for a corner. Incidentally, Erling Haaland has now scored, I believe it's 9 goals in 6 Premier League appearances against Crystal Palace, with the goal he scored in the first half. So a great return for him against the Eagles. He's jostling with his Norwegian teammate there, Strand Larsen, and they're smiling at each other as well from this corner. And here's chance for Foden, gets a shot away, he takes a deflection, and City want a free kick, but not doing, and Elliot Anderson just knocks it to Shirky, the only man that's been booked in this game so far. Here's Elliot Anderson once more, and now Ruben Diaz. In fact, it was actually Kusanov, I should say, the other centre back, or right back. He's got possession now. And some of these City players are interchanging, which kind of makes my job a bit more difficult, where they're not always in the same positions as I've got them down to be. Kusanov had right wing back or right back, and now he's sort of centre of defence there now. So they've kind of changed a bit of personnel. They've got the lineups the same, but personnel-wise, different players are in different formation or different positions, which is a little bit frustrating and take a bit of getting used to. Here's Anderson now. He's in his rightful position of central mid. And here is Shirky. Now Anderson again. And now that's with 25 there, which is Kalali. And now Pino to Tomiyasu. Mitchell back to Tomiyasu again. And Palace looking to build here with a shot at goal out. Oh, that's wide and comfortably wide as well. The ball is going to stay and play. It may even stay and play there from Eddie Nketiah. It was good. Pull up down the left-hand side. Tyreek Mitchell involved. And Eddie Nketiah on the end of it gets the ball back from Tyreek Mitchell. The two of them combining very, very well there. And Eddie Nketiah, just a very wayward effort, really, from the ex-Arsenal forward. Still 1-0 to Manchester City in the early stages of the second half. Here's Elliot Anderson now on to... That's Kusanov now from Diaz. Back to Kusanov once more. And here is Phil Foden, now Nico O'Reilly. That's off of Eddie Nketiah for a Man City throw. And the subs, incidentally, for Palace, we've got Benitez, Disasi, the new sign-in, Gozo, Gesen, Hughes, Lerma. We've got Mingueza, we've got Daniel Munoz is also on the bench. And we also have the number 30 on the bench as well, which is Dwight McNeil. The subs for Manchester City are Ait Nouri, Braithwaite, Echeverry, Kovacic, Lewis, Makadu, Gouli, Rise, and the new signing, the young lad Buwadi, is amongst the subs for Manchester City this evening as well. So it'll be interesting to see whether he gets on, a young 18-year-old. A very good tournament at the World Cup. Here's Mark Gahey now. Here's Diaz, and now Gahey once more. Here's Antoine Semenyo. Back to Mark Gahey once more again. Once more now, I should say. Or anyway. Here is Diaz. Welcome into anyone that's joining us as well here on the commentary hub for this alternative coverage of Premier League Week 2 of Crystal Palace and Manchester City. I'm your alternative commentator, Mike Harniman, and bringing you this game here is a joy and a privilege, and I'm grateful to be able to bring it to you. Here is Elliot Anderson now. Here's Semenyo. He's going to get on the end of it. He doesn't. It comes off the Palace man and away for a corner. Came off of the number 25 Kalali, the right wing back. Interesting delivery there. It's a good one. It's going to be a shot there from Anderson, and it's well over the top of Dean Henderson's goal. The Palace skipper, not troubled at all there. Of course, that mentioned in Buwadi, he was signed for Manchester City. It's him here now, I think, isn't it? Just on the screen. The 18-year-old signed from Lille. There's Daniel Munoz. In fact, that was the Crystal Palace man that they're showing. I wonder whether we'll see him this season. We probably will, because he's a talented player. Manchester City have it here now with Phil Foden. He's going to get an opportunity to feed Shirky. Does well, Ryan Shirky. And that's 2-0. As easy as that as well. Ryan Shirky just puts that ball comfortably past the on-running Dean Henderson there. And that's a comfortable goal for Ryan Shirky. 2 assists last week. And he's on the score sheet now as well. Crystal Palace 0, Manchester City 2. And that's a comfortable goal for Ryan Shirky. Scored with ease. And this game is getting beyond Crystal Palace already early on to the second half here. Ryan Shirky, 2 assists last week and a goal this week as well. So good start for Manchester City in the second half here. As we're 8 minutes in. And it's now 2 to the visitors. Phil Foden feeds in. Ryan Shirky jinxes past the multitude of Crystal Palace players and just puts the ball comfortably into the bottom corner there, with Dean Henderson stranded and standing absolutely no chance on the goal. Good dancing feet there from Ryan Shirky. Just goes past about 3 players in the end, and is all to do here for Crystal Palace, with still over half an hour of this game to play. I wonder whether they'll start looking at the bench in a minute. They probably might have to. We're certainly looking at a few names here. Lerma may be one that they want to use. They may want to use Munoz, as I said. They may want to use Dwight McNeil as well. There's another one they could potentially look at using for if they want to make any changes. But they have a free kick here to Palace. It's a dangerous position as well, just around about 25 yards out. Good opportunity to strike Gianluigi Donnarumma's goal and claw the deficit back to 1. And it's a good effort. Oh, what a free kick that was. That was absolutely sensational. What a free kick that is from Crystal Palace. Gianluigi Donnarumma, absolutely no chance. And what a free kick that is from Crystal Palace. The goal scorer was Jeremy Pino. What a free kick. Watch that. Wherever you get your highlights from across this weekend, watch that free kick. That is stunning. Palace 1, Man City 2. What a free kick that is. Commentated on an absolute worldie of a goal at the World Cup with Sidney Cabral when he scored for Cape Verde against Argentina, and that is up there with it as well. That goal there for Jeremy Pino, Crystal Palace, another fantastic goal that I've covered in the last few months. And we've got a right good game on our hands now. And Palace are in possession with Eddie Nketiah as well. They win a throw in here. And just like that, within the space of about 2 minutes, they've gone from being 2-0 down to half in the deficit, and it's now anyone's game again. If Palace get the next goal, they may well win this game. If City get the next goal, they'll go on and may score another 1 or 2 after that. But what's the goal that was from Jeremy Pino? Elliot Anderson also picks up a yellow card as well, thank you. For the original foul, I guess. But yeah, that is like I don't know how many superlatives I could use on that free kick. That was sublime. Here's Ryan Cherki now for Man City. Here's Antoine Semenyo, and now gets it back. He's going to get a shot away. No, he's not. Good defending. Here's Adam Wharton. And Ryan Cherki has already been booked. Yep, referee doesn't want to send him off for that foul there, but he's certainly got to be careful. He's already on a yellow and made another foul there on Adam Wharton. Wrexham 1, Birmingham 1. Callum Doyle, the scorer in that game in the Championship. It's going to be tough for me to give my player of the match or man of the match on this game as well. There's been a few half-decent candidates so far. Of course, please like and subscribe to our channel as well on the TCHub here. As Cherki gets a shot away. Oh, what a goal. It's 3-1. And another fantastic goal as well. Ryan Cherki this time. And that's his second of the game. He got 2 assists last week, as I mentioned previously. He's now got 2 goals. And Manchester City are out in front by 2 again. It's Crystal Palace 1, Man City 3 now. And Ryan Cherki with an absolute world-class strike there. The beating of Dean Henderson. It's 3-1, Man City. Ryan Cherki just before the hour. Getting the great goals today. I've had not just 1 but 2 fantastic goals I've commentated on there in the space of all of around about 2 minutes. Maybe not even that. What a free kick. The first one was for Pino, and then what a finish that is from Cherki as well. Past the gloves of Dean Henderson. He got a touch on it, but he couldn't keep the ball out, and it's now 3-1 to Man City. And they're looking the real deal this season, Manchester City. They started brightly last week with a 2-1 victory from behind, and they started brightly here as well in a different way, racing into a 2-0 lead, and then as soon as Palace have got themselves a goal back pretty much straight away, they've gone and added to that and made it 3. And it's now all to do once more for Crystal Palace. The ball through to Strand Larsen, but Donnarumma does well there. Gahey, and then here's Elliot Anderson now. And it looks like Maresca is going to be getting his first victory over Crystal Palace as well. 3 games played against them so far in his Chelsea days, and they're all draws, but it's going to be a bit of a uphill task if that's the case, as Kalani gets by his man, and then it's comfortably into the gloves of Donnarumma. And Cherki with his second Premier League goal of the season now. Of course, the next game we've got coming up here on the channel is Arsenal's trip to Aston Villa on Monday, which Russ is going to be covering for you, and do tune into that one to see how the new look Aston Villa side do, with plenty of players that have moved on from Villa Park in the summer, including Morgan Rogers. I think Emi Martinez is going to probably have moved on to Chelsea by that point as well. Ollie Watkins, another one, and they've also lost Ezri Konsa to Arsenal, who may well even make his debut at his own, at his old stomping ground there. Here's Cherki for City. And Chelsea in possession once more with Elliot Anderson now. Here's Mark Gahey. Now Semenyo does well to try and get past his man, but that's good play from Kalali. I wonder if we'll start looking at Crystal Palace changes anytime soon. Now that we've just hit over the hour mark. Here's Gvardiol. There's Kalali, goes down from Gvardiol's foul, but nothing doing. In fact, the referee has pulled it up eventually. I think he wanted to try and play advantage, but there was no advantage, so he pulled it back for a free kick, and I think we're going to get a sub here. Let's have a look. We're getting a Crystal Palace sub, and it's the number 29 Gesand coming on, and he is replacing the number 22 Jorgen Strand Larsen in the first change of this game. So Gesand is coming on for Strand Larsen there, Evan Gesand. On the 62nd minute. The first change of this game. Something a little bit different for Manchester City to have to think about now. Good play there from Mark Gahey, and now that's with Manchester City again. 24. Gvardiol was involved, and also Anderson as well, and now Diaz. Here's Gahey again. Here is Shirky on a hat-trick now, remember. Free ball to Dean Henderson, and picks that one up comfortably. Erling Haaland and Ryan Shirky, the Manchester City goal scorers, and Pino pulled one back for Crystal Palace with that wonderful free kick. Here's Shirky once more now. Good play there from Tomiyasu. He's going to knock it to Mitchell, and then Nketiah with Anderson. Now Gvardiol. Just go Gvardiol to Semenyo. Here is Gvardiol again. He's going to get a shot away. No, he whips it in, and it's towards Foden. Keeps it in. And we've got Anderson now. Still Crystal Palace 1, Manchester City 3 from Selhurst Park here. Here's Phil Foden now, and now Josko Gvardiol again. Now Antoine Semenyo to try and take on his man. He does well, and he wins the corner off of Kalali as well. Good play from Semenyo, who wins the corner. I think Dean Henderson lost his shin pad as well in something there just a little while ago. He's got his face on the shin pads. How, what's the word? I don't know. He loves to look at himself, I guess. It's a good corner there, is it? No, it's a long one. And it's comfortably into the gloves of Henderson that time. Crystal Palace have possession here with, that's the number 18 Kamada, and now he gets it back and on to Canva. Try to find Geston. He does well here. Now the goal scorer Pino, can he get a chance to put the ball in? He can, but it evades everyone and goes out of play for a goal kick. Adrian Kay was the man looking to get into the area, but the ball was way past him. I guess the substitute was also in the area, but it evaded both of those and went out of play for a goal kick after touching the corner flag on the way out. 66 plays, and it's still Man City leading by 3-1. And I said to Luke off air, actually, I wanted a good game, but it's been ebbing and flowing, and we've certainly had that this evening. We've had a great game here to watch and to witness. to bring him. Here's Mark Gahey now. And Richards to Wharton. Now that's Kamada. Now he gets it back from Mitchell. And Kamada does well. He's going to be whipped in here towards Pino, but good defending from, it was Gvardiol towards Semenyo now. And a free kick to Man City for the foul by Kalili. Of course, if you haven't hit the like and subscribe yet, then please do so. It's much appreciated. Of course, follow us on our other social media accounts as well. There's a yellow card there for Ruben Diaz. The third. In fact, it was actually Anand Kalali, sorry. The first yellow card there was as a substitution for Palace, with Eddie Nketiah making way for Dwight McNeil. That's the third yellow card for Palace. There's another sub as well, with the goal scorer Pino coming off. So we had Pino come off for Gozo, and Nketiah came off as well for Dwight McNeil there in Palace's second and third changes respectively. Mark Gahey over the free kick now, sit into the area towards Haaland, but with Mitchell now. Here's Gessens as the substitute for Palace. Here's Gozo when he loses out. Now Wharton, and now is McNeil. He loses out as well. With Ronan Shirky now. Tries to find Haaland, but good bit of play there from Tomiyasu, I think that was. Here's Mitchell. Tomiyasu now for Crystal Palace. And he's got it back again, and he's now just knocking it around to Richards. Free ball to the 25, Kalali. He's just got booked a few minutes ago. Palace's first booking. We've had a couple of bookings for City as well, with Anderson and Shirky, all on yellows. Here's Anderson now, one of the ones that has just been booked for Man City a little while back. And it's with the goalkeeper Donnarumma now. He was able to do anything about the free kick from Pino, but bar that, he's not done a lot else. Hasn't done anything wrong. As Birmingham go 2-1 up now, with Neumann second at Wrexham. So he is back on target again, and Birmingham back in front again after 63 minutes. In the Championship, two sides that are both very well backed. Here's Donnarumma now. Here's Diaz. And here is Chris Richards. And Adam Wharton now. And now out to Tomiyasu, and he plays the ball forward towards Gozo. Goes down. No free kick. And Palace might have to do a bit of defending here. Here's Shirky. Now Haaland, and he looks to find Semenyo, but good bit of play there from, that was the right wing back, which I think may well have been Kalali that time. And Palace looking to build again. Here's the number 11, Dwight McNeil now, next Burnley man. Here's Kalali. Into the area and comfortably into the glove of Donnarumma. Here's number 10, Ryan Shirky, having a great game for Man City so far. certainly a contender for my player of the match or man of the match when the timing for that comes around. Here's Anderson to O'Reilly, and now Gavadio, and now Semenyo. It won't be long until I have to start getting my thinking cap on for player of the match. Probably 7 or 8 minutes. I'll have to start considering a few names. Here's Sharky now. And now Kusanov, and then given away there from Man City. Here's Phil Foden now. Of course, Manchester City still linked with Enzo Fernandez. Nothing confirmed or denied with that yet, the Chelsea man, but there is a strong link and a strong rumour regarding him, and deadline day is obviously coming up early next week. Wonder whether he'll be one of the new faces to join Enzo Maresca's side in the next few days. Personally, I think it's probably quite likely that he does. Dean Henderson just bowls that one out with Tomiyasu. In fact, it's Chris Richards now. Now that's Cambo. Through ball towards Gozo, but Man City have it back with Gavadio and now Diaz. I guess then to try to nick it off him, but with Mark Gahey now. Dwight McNeil passed in the end, but it's a free kick here for a foul. There'll be 2 more changes for Palace. This is their 4th and 5th changes now, and there's also a City change coming up as well. Tomiyasu coming off here, number 17. One of Palace's changes. And the 25, Kalali's coming off as well. And coming on in their place is... Have a look here, and there's also a City change as well. It's going to be hard to keep all 3. Keep up with all 3, but let's see who it is here. We've got Tomiyasu and Kalali off for Palace in the 4th and 5th respectively anyway. And coming on, we've got one of them is what's happened here? Is this? Yeah, I think this is one of the new rules because the man took so long to come off. I think now it's the number 30, which is Mingueza. This happened in the League Cup the other day as well. Is now not allowed onto the field of play. So he is going to be coming on to replace Kalali in a minute. But because it took over the 5 seconds, which is the allocated time now for a substitution, he hasn't been able to come on. That happened with Danny Welbeck and I think it was João Pedro in Chelsea's League Cup game the other day as well. It's one of the new rules that have been brought in since the World Cup. And it's Kovacic that came off. I'm sorry for Gavadio, and that's Manchester City's change. I think Palace made one of their changes. I think they're still waiting on one. Yeah, they have. They made one and they're waiting on one. So it was just this new rule that's in place as to why only one of the subs could come on and how long it took. Bit of a silly rule really in all fairness, but you're making multiple subs. It's going to take longer than 5 seconds and you've got 2 players coming off. Anyway, I'm not going to go too deep into that, but yeah, if you've got 2 players coming off and 2 coming on, surely you need to add an extra 5 seconds for the fact you're making 2 changes rather than just 1. I don't know. Odd. Here's Phil Foden anyway from Man City. Here is Kovacic now. Now Diaz. Anderson. Sharky. Anderson again. Yeah, it is the time that it took. Yeah, decided to come on for Tomiyasu. So the new signing that's just come on in the last, I think it was yesterday, he signed for Palace. But yeah, it is because of how long it took Kalali to come off. He's still waiting to come on, by the way. Incidentally, is the number 30, Mingueza. But yeah, they're currently still playing with 10 men, and it looks like now he's come on. That was a good 2 minutes, maybe, that Crystal Palace were playing with a man like that. As there's now an issue with something here. The referee's having a chat with somebody as well. Ball boy or somebody's having a chat with. To see what's going on here. The referee's had to go over. And he's speaking to somebody. Anyway, we think we're going to be underway. I think we're good to go again. He's having a chat. I think he was saying maybe to do with the substitutions or something about how long the delay was. I think we're on the way again anyway, whatever that was all about. I think the referee had to chat with the ball boy or somebody in there. All's going on right now. There's number 30, the one who just come on eventually. Engage will take the throw, and now Richards. And what's going on here? The referee is stopped playing, isn't he? If Man City are looking to go to the bench, and there's a few changes there that they might go and use. But yeah, we're on the way with Man City. And Buwadi is 85.6. It puts him 5th on the most expensive teenagers list. Mbappe first. Bellingham's in there as well. He's one of the ones that City are looking to get ready. The man signed from Lille. With Mark Gahey now. Incidentally, Semenyo is in possession. Incidentally, City, of course, did you all know, finished runners up last season to Arsenal, but did win the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup, so they did win after a couple of trophies, and they're going to be a real threat to the Premier League this year as well, and to try and catch the Gunners. That's the number 54 has come on as well, which is it 56 maybe? It might be coming on. Alongside Buhari. And of course, we shall see how he gets on. And it's with Semenyo. So just sorting out these substitutions in a minute. And make sure I got all the 5 down for Palace. And the one that City made as well with Kovacic coming on. So I think we're good on that front right now. As Donnarumma's in possession, he's going to knock the ball forward here to O'Reilly. And it's with, that was is it Mitchell? Anyway, it's with Semenyo. And now O'Reilly again. And there's Kusanov, I think he's pulled up there, isn't he? There was a foul there on Phil Foden. It's going to be a yellow card, I think, as well. I'd be surprised if he got away without a booking here. As we're getting these 2 changes. One of them is the 56 coming on, and the new boy as well, the number 32. The 2-goal man, Ryan Cherki, is one of the ones to make way for 2 fantastic goals this evening. First one where he just jinxes past a number of players and then puts the ball into the bottom corner, and then the second one where he shoots from just outside the area and it's past Dean Henderson. So he makes way, and he's just been replaced by the number 56. And Elliot Anderson made play as well for the new boy Buwadi. And the other change, the number 56, is Makadu. That's City's second and third changes respectively now to add to Kovacic. And here is Nico O'Reilly. Here's the new boy Buwadi. Does well. And knocks the ball out to Ruben Diaz. Then gets it back again. Had a really good World Cup, did Boardi. But now here's Semenya. Now Gahey and then O'Reilly, and then comes for Palace man on the way for the throw. It's the Palace ball, in fact. And Palace still have it here with it goes out, just couldn't get on the end of it. Now here is the substitute Makaido that's just come on, jinxing past a few, gets a shot away, and that's not far away from Makaido as well. Does really well there, the young lad, and his effort is just wide of Dean Henderson's goal, the Manchester City teenager. Makaido himself is only a young lad as well, coming up from the academy. Going to see how old he is here. He's only 18 himself, so they just brought the two 18-year-olds on there, have Man City, and it was the one coming up from the academy whose effort has just gone wide of Dean Henderson's goal. It's a throw in here with Buwadi getting the ball thrown to him, and it's now going to be seen back by Camvo to Henderson, and now Richards. Coming towards the close of play here with 83 played. Still Palace 1, Man City 3. It's the latest score on the commentary hub. And I'll have to give my player of the match in about 2 or 3 minutes time. I think I'm probably going to give it to him as well, in fairness. There's probably one standout player. Here's Richards now for Palace. And here comes Phil Foden. Jinxes past a few players and finds Haaland. That's for Erling Haaland once again. His 10th goal against Crystal Palace now in 6 games. Erling Haaland is also at the double. Palace 1, Man City 4. Erling Haaland also gets his second of the game to add to the 2 from Ray and Cherky. Haaland's been pretty anonymous in this game in all fairness, but the 2 chances he's had, he's buried them both with ease. It's Palace 1, City 4 now, and Erling Haaland once again. The man that started the scoring, maybe the man that ends the scoring potentially as well, to capitalise on a bit of sloppy play there from Crystal Palace. Foden feeds him through and tucks it away with aplomb past Dean Henderson for 4-1. And that's probably the cherry on the icing on the cake there for Man City. As Crystal Palace are in possession now with that was number 30, which was the substitute Mingueza, but it's now with Mitchell in fact, and now Kamada, but I think there's an offside flag up. There is. As Erling Haaland, as I say, he's got 10 goals in 6 games against Palace now. What a formidable record that is for the big Norwegian striker. It's going to be a handful to not just Palace, but every Premier League side this season as well. And one of those players where a lot of defenders are going to fear playing against him. Here is Phil Foden, now Buwadi. And Semenya. Foden, now Gahey. Now Kovacic. And it's with Ruben Diaz, now Buwadi again. Now Mark Gahey on the winning side at Selhurst Park against his former employee. Well, an absolute miracle that is. Here's Buwadi now. And through ball is with Foden. And now here's Buwadi once more. Yes, I have, Luke, yeah. And I'll give it to the balls out of play, and I'll tell you that in a sec. But I'll put it in private chat for you. There you go. There you are, mate. Play when the match is with you. I'll mention it when the ball's out of play next. But yeah, the City are in possession right now, and it's with Haaland. Is he going to get a chance for his hat-trick? No, he's not. Good defending from, I think that may have been the Canvo. And City are just knocking it around here with his Kovacic now and Diaz. Here's Buwadi and Kovacic again. Now O'Reilly. And City cruising here. They're going to get another 2 changes ready as well. I wonder whether Erling Haaland may not see the close of this game. Here's Semenyo. Does want to get past his man. He's going to go behind it for a goal kick. It is. And it's going to be a corner here for Man City. But in fact, whilst we're out of play, while the ball's out of play, I'll give you my player of the match, and it is Ryan Cherki of Manchester City. 3 attempts, 2 goals, 5 touches in the opposition box, and 3 chances created. A 0.46 OG as well, or XG, sorry, as well, not OG, for the Manchester City man. So he is my player of the match, Ryan Cherki, as Kutinov is coming off here. He's been replaced by Reese, Rice, and Braithwaite has also come on as well for O'Reilly. That was the number 61. That's all of our substitutions now. So yeah, congratulations to Nico O'Reilly, to Ryan Cherki, I should say, who is the player of the match in association with Football Live here on the Commentary Hub. Nico O'Reilly was on my mind because I just was making note of the fact he was substituted there. And here's Buwadi now. Here is Buwadi. And that's Reece, sorry, I should say. And he's got possession back as in. It's gone out of play for a throw to Crystal Palace. And it's now with Adam Wharton. And now is Gozo. Good play from Phil Foden. Now here's Semenyo. No, that was number 61, the young lad, Caden Braithwaite. And now Mark Gahey. As we're going to be finding out what additional stoppage time we're going to have ever so shortly. And thank you for tuning in to us this evening here on the Commentary Hub. As Manchester City look to be runaway winners here at Selhurst Park. With Mark Gahey getting one over his old employer. We're into 5 minutes of additional time, and he just knocks it on too. Semenyo, the former mentioned Mark Gahey there, and he gets it back as well. Here's Kovacic now. So we're into 5 additional time. And thank you for listening to the Commentary Hub. Please like and please subscribe, and please tune in and join us again on Monday for our next live game between Aston Villa and Arsenal. Here's Foden. He can get a shot away. No, he's not. He's going to find Braithwaite, and it's cleared away, but only as far as Mark Gahey then. But yeah, next game on the channel is Aston Villa against Arsenal, which Russ is going to bring on Monday night. So do check us out on that one. Monday the 31st, 8 PM UK time from Villa Park, live around about 10:02. As Caden Braithwaite is in possession right now in the game we're bringing you. Here's Buwadi, and then on to, that was Reese. Here's a Reese. And Kovacic. And Buwadi. That's the number 61, Caden Braithwaite, to Phil Foden. As we're over the first minute of additional time here. Here's Kovacic. And now Rooney. Well, so Reece, sorry. I get those two confused. Rooney's not on. He was on the unused subs. Here's Mark Gahey now. Here's Semenyo. And Mark Gahey again. Now Semenyo. Here's Foden. Injury there, is it, for Foden? Has just gone down. He'll be held to his feet by Semenyo, his teammate. It looks like once again City are going to be running away with another +3 against Crystal Palace. It was 3-0, 3-0 and 5-2 and now 4-1. So City love to put Palace to the sword in these fixtures in the league. Although there's still time for that to be added to, of course. And Palace could still maybe get one back as well and half the deficit. Semenyo was on the score sheet, as was Marmoush and Savinho in the last meeting. Phil Foden on the score sheet against them as well, as there's Haaland, as I say, 10 times in 6 now. And here is the number 11 for Palace. Bright McNeil out to the left-hand side, where I believe that's Mitchell. Good bit of play there from Ruben Diaz anyway. There's going to be a throw in here for Palace. And it's with Adam Morton up. I wonder whether Palace are going to struggle this season. There's a lot of talk about Palace being towards the bottom end of the divisions. I wonder whether they'll still look to strengthen and maybe bring in 1 or 2 new bodies before the close of the window on Tuesday. 11 o'clock Tuesday evening UK time. It's the close of the window. And I wonder whether City will do any more business as well. As I mentioned, Enzo was one that was mentioned. Enzo Fernandez, the potential for him to come through the door. It's with Mark Gahey now. We're about 30 seconds away from the close of play. Here's Braithwaite. And now Semenyo. And now Mark Gahey. City incidentally won 20 out of 32 league encounters, which is now going to be 21 out of 33. So a very formidable record for City against Palace even before this game. And Palace didn't. The last win was 2015. So Jason Punchin and Glenn Murray on the score sheet on that occasion, but not today. The goal scorers today are Erling Haaland with a brace, Ryan Cherki with a brace as well. The goal back came in the second half from Pino as well to make it 2-1 to Manchester City with that wonderful free kick, which Donnarumma could absolutely do nothing about. Ryan Cherki then pulled another goal, pulled City another goal in front, and then Erling Haaland capitalised once again as well with his second of the game. Ryan Cherki is the man that I've given the player of the match to here, or the man of the match to here on the Commentary Hub. Please do like, please do subscribe, please share out this stream as well. Please also go to our social media. You can grab us on TikTok and on Instagram, and they are both under the handles of the Commentary Hub 92. We're also at Commentary Live 1 on X as well. There's not a Facebook at the moment. We used to have one, but there's been a few technical glitches there, which we're going to try and resolve and get another Facebook link for you as well. So Facebook page to hopefully come soon. Thank you for that, Russ. Russ is going to be bringing the next game, which is, of course, Arsenal's trip to Villa Park. And that's going to be coming up on Monday evening at 8 o'clock to see whether Arsenal can continue on with their winning start to the season, or whether Villa can bounce back after their heavy defeat to Brighton last weekend. But this has been a fantastic game to cover. I've really enjoyed seeing some more wonderful goals again. A couple of great goals from Pino, from Sharky, did a couple of really good bits of play. He scored 2 wonderful goals. Haaland didn't really have a lot to do in the game, but took his goals very, very well. The header and then the second goal that he scored as well, City's 4th. As Phil Foden dancing with the fans there and celebrating with the fans. Haaland is a formidable striker for anyone to come up against this season. They also saw a glimpse of Buwadi as well, so I'm sure they're delighted with that. Finished Wrexham 1, Birmingham City 2 in the Championship. We'll run you through the fixtures coming up over the weekend in the Premier League, and then we'll call it there. So the next lot of fixtures coming up this weekend, see Liverpool against Nottingham Forest at 12:30 tomorrow lunchtime. Then the 3 p.m. games of Bournemouth against Everton and Coventry Hull, the 2 new promoted sides, or 2 of the 3 new promoted sides. Of course, Hull beat Manchester United on their opening weekend. Tottenham and Newcastle was the 5:30 game. Chelsea and Brighton, Leeds and Brentford, and Sunderland and Fulham are all at 2 p.m. on Sunday. Manchester United are hosting the other new boys, I should say, in Ipswich Town at 4:30 on Sunday. And then the next game we're going to definitely be bringing is the Monday night game between Aston Villa and Arsenal. We may be bringing one Monday afternoon from a lower division with Nicola, so do check out our social media or X, and that's at Commentary Live 1. Do check us out on there, and if there's another game coming up on Monday, we'll post out that and let you all know. But we'll just, all that's left for me to say really is thank you for everyone that's tuned in this evening. And I've really enjoyed it. It's been a great game to cover, a couple of really wonderful goals, a convincing, dominant victory for Manchester City, who are going to be a real threat to the Premier League this season, and to Arsenal in particular, and their title defence. Palace have got their work cut out. There's still a couple of days left of the transfer window. Will they strengthen? Will they bring in a couple of new bodies? I'm sure they probably will. Will we see Enzo Fernandez make the move to Man City? That's probably going to be quite likely as well, in my opinion. But yeah, Erling Haaland and Ryan Cherki's braces are the difference, as Crystal Palace were heavily beaten just a few days before their 102nd anniversary of the opening of Selhurst Park by a dominant Manchester City side. It's finished Crystal Palace 1, Manchester City 4. We'll be back with you again on Monday evening as Arsenal travel to Villa Park. Thank you for listening, and enjoy the rest of your Friday night and your bank holiday weekend.